Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 6th Annual World Financial Group Jim Selvin Classic from Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club in St. John, New Brunswick. My name is Keith Rains, and I'm joined in the booth this morning by the famous Bill Ailes.
I don't know about the famous part, Keith.
Well, that's what Mr. Thompson told me.
It's great to be here this morning with yourself, and we're going to in for some good curling this morning, I believe.
Well, this is moving day, last day of the round robin, and we have Heidi Hanlon and Kathy Hicks. And why don't you tell the folks at home about those teams?
Sure, Keith. Team Hicks is from Fredericton. It's skipped by Kathy Hicks. Went to Washburn. Throws Maidstones. Brenda Sterling, and Eleanor Murray is the lead. And Team Hanlon is right here from Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club, skipped by Heidi Hanlon. The mate is Kathy Floyd. Second is Judy Blanchard, and the lead is Jane Arsenal. These ladies have been together for a number of years and have a lot of banners on the wall out in the ice shed.
And a former senior world champion.
That's correct. Many has been Heidi and her team has been to the National Women's representing New Brunswick for a number of years at the Scotties. So yeah, she's got a lot of credentials for her.
And we'll talk about the reason we're all here there for the Jim Selvin, and I have some information on Jim and his curling accomplishments. But one thing I will say is when they won, that was sort of my wake-up call for curling, because I go, someone from St. John, like a New Brunswick team,
has a chance to win
nationals and went to worlds. And there's a piece in our program here that I'll read to the folks to give them a little bit of background information on Jim and the accomplishments that he did in his very young life. But curling, I was thinking about it last night when I got home, is really from all the sports, curling has put St. John and New Brunswick on the map more so than any other sport going, because not only national champions, but world champions. I mean, Wade Blanchard, we had Wade here yesterday. I mean, my goodness. And I mean, that team was with Wayne Talon,
Mike Kennedy.
Yeah. I mean, and they're New Brunswick boys.
They are.
And to win a world, there's no other sport that even comes close to the accomplishments that curling, and you know what? It makes you feel a little bit of pride to be a St. John and a New Brunswicker.
You should, yes.
Yeah, because you say, you know what? We're world champions.
We can do
national champions. And you look around here at Thistle St. Andrews, reminds me of the old Montreal Forum, with all the banners that are hanging, mixed champions and juniors and the men's tankard champions. Jeremy Millet there, he won it a few years ago. We have a lot to be proud of. We have a great curling tradition here in St. John and in New Brunswick. And this weekend we have 18 men's teams here, 10 women's teams. That sort of fills the slate to try to get it done on Sunday. And the ladies, their Scotties tournament is going to be in January.
That's correct.
Bell TV, we're going to be broadcasting that up in Moncton. So this is an important weekend for these ladies to get their game on. I imagine there might be one or two other events before the January 3rd time. But
sure, yeah, there'll be a few other spiels, but not many, because January 3rd is not that far away.
No.
So no, this will probably be one of the bigger spiels between now and the ladies' playdowns in Moncton. So this is a lot on the line for some of these ladies' teams.
And the record, Heidi's team is 1-1. They won last evening against Robin McPhee. And Hicks is still waiting to hit the win column. They're 0-2.
She is, but they're a good team. Just because they haven't got a win yet, they are a good ladies team. I know they work hard. So we'll see what happens here this morning.
Yeah.
So it's the first end, Keith, and they're playing pretty defensive. I think there are not a lot of rocks in play. Just I think feeling out the ice conditions and the teams, which is quite normal actually for first end play. Just to keep it wide open.
Now these games, if you're just tuning in for the first time, folks, are 8 ends. And obviously, if it's tied after 8, there will be one more end to break the tie. And I know Heidi has no problem. If you want to put a lot of rocks in play, she's all right with that.
She can play any style of game. Again, with the number of years experience that she has, but yeah, she can play either style. But traditionally, again,
yeah,
keep it clean from first end and mix it up after that.
That's right. And I mean, like the Hicks team obviously knows the Hanlon team.
Oh yes.
And they said, well, let's see, do we want to get into that type of game with Heidi?
That's right. Yeah, they've got to stick to their game plan, their style of play. You don't want to be forced into your opponent's game plan. You want to stick with your game plan and your execution.
Because we were, like I said, and what we'll do today, another job I have for you.
Oh, great.
See, I do this on air.
But
what we'll try to do is, like, I know this is our marquee game.
Correct.
And we've told folks at home, like everyone tries to get a chance to play on sheet 6 here, but we do keep them up to date on the other scores that are going around. So they want to tune in and just to see how the Newfoundland boys are making out, or how the Nova Scotia girls are coming along. Every couple ends, we'll update those scores too for them.
Sure, Keith. No, that's not a bad job at all. We can take care of that.
And we've got a full slate of games going on here. 11:30. All 8 sheets are playing. The ladies are over here on 5 sheets because that's all the women's teams are right here in front of us.
All out here.
And the men's have 3 sheets over on the St. Andrews side.
Correct. So for the ladies, Keith, all the ladies are out, and this is their third of 4 games in the round robin. So this game is very much a turning point for anybody that has 1 loss or even 2. These are very important games for those ladies.
Heidi, they've got 3 rocks in the house.
Yes, no guards, but they've got three counters. So yeah, they're putting it on early, and Heidi also has hammer this end, so she's set up in a pretty good position now. I'm sure that the Hicks team will try to make a couple of these rocks go away. So, let's see what happens here. This looks like a soft hit on that outside one in 12-foot, but there's a lot of curl, Keith. She is gonna make contact, but I think she's gonna either roll out or roll. I guess not completely out, but Heidi would still be laying 2 after that shot. Prior to the event, I'm sure some of the others have talked about this, but in ice preparation for an event like this, it's quite often standard practice to sand the stones.
Well, it's funny you say that because Spencer McWhinney was up here last night stretching, getting warmed up as we're in the gondola up here.
Yes.
And Spencer goes, "Oh yeah, it's really nice. They flooded the ice again. They did, and then they." What's the terminology on the stones?
They sand them.
Roughed up, or
they sand.
And he goes,
the running surface.
Yeah, so he goes home rink bet nothing.
It would not. No, I know. I curled here on Thursday night. I think they sanded the rocks earlier in the week, maybe Monday or Tuesday, and yeah, the game on Thursday night was a bit of an adventure, but it was the same for both teams.
That's right.
And whoever figured it out first won. And in my case, I was lucky enough to get it figured out, or my team did anyway. Yeah. So but it is so you will see especially on the softer shots, you see a lot of movement on the stones, which makes the game fun.
Oh yeah, and that's like yesterday. I mean, you could take nothing for granted. I mean, we had even towards the end of one game there, the boys, it looked like sort of some basic draws coming in. There wasn't like any guards in the way, and they were a little light, or they curled too much, and it was interesting to watch. But I imagine from their perspective, it was very frustrating.
Probably frustrating for them. Yeah. But once again, it is the same for both teams, and Yeah, so this is Kathy Hicks' first stone here in the first end, and again it looks like a hit. But and with the up weight, there's a little less curling. You can see she has a fair bit of rotation, so you won't see the curl that we talked about on that shot. In fact, she may have
A little heavy.
she's a little heavy and might have a total miss.
Yes.
That's going to hurt a little bit for the first end.
Now you do some coaching too, right?
I
Bill?
haven't in recent years, but I have coached. Yeah, I have coached both junior and ladies teams.
I always like to get your philosophy, especially when they're throwing the rocks. Like old school, it used to be back in the days where they pick it up right off the ice and come on through.
Yes.
And then over the years, I've noticed like it's almost the arms almost kept straight and it's a push.
That's correct. It's called a no lift delivery.
Yeah.
And
so what is the philosophy now? You know, here we are in 2017, and we're coaching because we've, we get the kids involved, the grassroots, but even like we have, adults
Sure.
starting to play the game. How would they be taught?
Anybody today that that go to a learn to curl or take instruction, you would always teach the no lift delivery. It's
Just more consistent.
It's more consistent. The delivery is all about balance, Keith. So
Yes.
if you're picking a 40-pound piece of granite up behind your back, and you're standing on one foot on a sheet of ice, balance could go out the window in a hurry.
Yeah.
So the no lift is a lot safer. You're a lot more steady on your feet. And the other thing that in the years gone by, the ice surface and the running surface of the stones have changed. The ice is a lot faster and quicker, so you don't need the force that you would have needed in the old days. So yeah, it has a lot to do with the running surface and the ice surface too.
Here's Heidi's first shot.
So she would probably be just putting the guard up again. Heidi is laying 3 with Kathy Hicks has 1 rock left to go to Heidi's 2. So this looks a little deep for a guard though, Keith. She must be going right in.
Now, I'm trying to remember. Was it Richard Ballier or was it the wrench? There was one guy that used to almost have his fingertips on it. And he would.
I think that might have been Vernick.
Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
They come out. It was almost like he had the handle in his 3 fingers there, and he just give it a little push one way or the other. He wanted an in-turn or out-turn.
Yeah. Now, that would not be a textbook
No.
delivery. Nothing that. But again, having coached and given instruction, you would never teach that. But as some of these athletes, they do sort of find their own.
Well, it's almost like putting. Like putting is like they tell you, say you have a long putt, you bring it back 6 inches, you follow through 6 inches, right? You have that consistency. Short putt, 2 back, bring it back 2, follow through 2, and you can see where curling, releasing the curling, you want that consistency,
You want that
right?
consistency, yeah, because the least little bit in a delivery, you're aiming at the room or at a target, so any little bit of outward or inward motion is going to push that rock away from the target. So you see Kathy Hicks and her mate, they're looking at taking some time here to look at they have one
shot,
and they're looking at 4 red rocks, 4 handling rocks in the ring. So.
And you see how that can build up rather quickly. We had that happen yesterday where one team gave up 5, and it was just a couple of misses. And all of a sudden, you looked and go, oh my goodness, they're sitting like 4. They're in like,
And again, we had talked earlier about this being an open end because there are absolutely no guards in play. All the rocks that are in play are in the rings, and there's 4 counters. Like usually, we have 4 counters are usually covered by guards of some sort, but in this case, it's wide open. I do believe there's a double there. It's going to be hard for her to. If she plays a double, she may roll out.
Yeah.
They're spending some time.
Well, I wonder if she could hit that top one just on the inside, just slightly enough to bang it out to the right, hit the other one on the left and stick for shot.
She hits the top. I think she would roll far enough that the other red that's at, we'll say at 3 o'clock, I think she's going to roll over top of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is where the experience comes in, because it's always interesting what the action of the rock be, the reaction.
That's
The
right.
hit. Now, where's that going to go?
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, obviously a nose hit is going to stay
Yeah.
right there, but if you hit, either side of the nose, it's going to. So here, I think maybe she would be trying to hit that stone in the forefoot.
Yeah.
And possibly
Roll
roll
in
in
behind?
and cover.
Yeah.
Yes, to lie one, and then Heidi would have to deal with that shooter. So this is even though it's the first end.
Oh, it's a big shot.
It's a big shot. If she can cut her losses here, we have to bring Heidi down. The turning point for sure. It's early in the game.
Kathy Hicks, final shot here in the first end. Looking at 4 Hanlon stones.
She's certainly going to get to the inside. Again, we talked about that big curl. I think
the
she's
hit,
chipping the
hit,
front one.
hit, and
She's
she didn't
rolling
roll.
right out.
Yeah,
so
she's
I think
not enough.
Yeah, Heidi has a draw anywhere probably full 12 foot for a handful of woods.
And we discussed this yesterday, talking about getting big leads and how long you play
Yes.
afterwards. And obviously, in day one, even if you're behind 5-1, 6-1, 7, well, you'd say no. We want to keep playing because we got to work out the kinks here.
That's right. Get a feel for the ice and stones.
Now, come day 2.
Yes.
If you say, hey, listen, we've got some other games that we got to play here.
That's right.
Let's rest the
bones.
rest the engine here.
Yes, that's correct. And that maybe what they do. This would be another Keith. The game's far from over. It's
Yeah.
only the first end.
Well, the thing is, hey, if Heidi can score 5, then maybe Kathy can come back and get 2 or 3.
And again, that's got to be your game plan. You know what? She's probably not going to come back and get 5 all
No.
at once. But her game plan now has to be to chip away.
Yeah,
So
let's get a couple.
She has a hammer in the next end.
Yeah.
Let's make sure we get at least our 2.
Yeah.
And then you.
Oh,
got-
so the Steve Thompson book, you've read that?
I've read the Steve Thompson book.
Wow, it's like
Yes, that's the best.
that
bestseller.
started. It's a bestseller. Well, he's doing a signing.
Is he doing
today.
a signing today?
Well,
Oh,
that's
that's great
was,
for Steve. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so happy for him.
Yes. Yes.
Now, for the folks at home who are listening to this
Yeah.
banter, as we call it, Steve is quite a character. Obviously, we have a great time. His daughter curls,
Yes.
and Steve was a former Riverboat
He was a
Classic
former-
captain.
He was indeed.
And a great advocate of the game of curling. So anyway, last year we broadcast the Jimmy event here, but we also did the tankard. And I'm not sure what tournament it was, but Steve comes in and goes, well, my philosophy, Keith. And I go, what's that? He said, yeah, if you have the hammer and you score 2, and when you don't have the hammer, you only give up 1, you should win the majority of those games.
You sure? Yeah, that's so. Steve does have his grade 6 math. then?
Yeah, so I go, I'm liking that, Steve. I
Yeah.
like that philosophy. So then that's when the book thing sort of came up.
Yes.
What chapter is it? Anytime
Yeah.
there was a Steve note.
Yes.
So what chapter is that one? So
Yes.
there you go. I think that's a subtitle of the book.
Oh yeah, I guess book in the making.
Winning curling.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Oh yeah, Steve's quite a character.
Yeah.
And then he does a lot of work around the
Oh.
club. Just he's been on the board of directors. He helps out with. He's been a riverboat captain as I. It's yeah.
Well, I was up at the Scotties last year in the Mirror Machine, and of course that ice storm,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And everything, and little kudos out to the Days Inn. Thank God I was booked at the Days Inn because NB Power was there too.
Oh,
so
so
I
you had
knew
power.
they had power.
Yes.
So on one side I had Tim Hortons, the only Tim Hortons that was open, and there was a lineup going down Kings George Highway like
Yes, I
no
bet
get
there
out.
would be.
And on the other side there was the only gas station that was still open. So I'm looking around and I said, okay, I better get some more gas now.
Yes, yes.
And then I'll walk over to Tim's. And at Tim's, it was, of course, you're standing in line just to get some food. And they talked about Subway. And the guy goes, at Subway said, okay, first of all, if you don't have cash, you may as well leave now because my
power,
internet.
yes.
And all I got left is these type of sandwiches.
Couldn't be fussy.
Yeah, so yeah, can't be fussy. Here's what I got left, and you need cash. So, but that's things with winter coming up, folks. things to think about. If there's a storm, brewing in your area, one, get your gas tank full.
That's correct.
And
yeah.
take some money out of the bank.
Yes, and the last few winters, there's always been a few of those nor'easters that shut part of the province down. Whether it's up north or down here, we've had our fair share of them as well.
Well, the other little thing I bring up from the camp, I have a camp on an island, Kersing lives with snow, but I bring my LED lamps and I bring the radio up.
Yes.
Because we're so dependent on power. Like, I can remember the folks down in Halifax when they had that big
ice. White one.
Well, they didn't know what was going on because they couldn't.
No communication.
No communication.
It's amazing how dependent we are. So, if folks at home, you were wondering what happened, what the outcome of the first end was, Heidi did in fact score her 5. So it's 5-0 after one end to play, and we're well into the second end. The Hicks team does have one corner guard up, but Hanlon has 2 rocks in the ring, so Heidi's not letting up.
No.
This is Judy Blanchard's shot here. And it's going to be definitely in the rings. It might even be deep into the rings. See what it sets. Oh, she's going to be okay, I think.
I had Jane Arsenault up last year, and Jane goes, I'm a firm believer of having my sweepers involved in my stones, because she goes, they can make it go further, but they can't do a bloody thing to stop it.
Well, that's exactly right.
And
that's
she goes, so that's my philosophy. I went, okay, I'm liking it, Jane. I'm liking it. And there's a lot of truth.
It's all truth,
right?
Exactly. Yes.
I throw it, the right way, but they can help me out a bit. And it's funny because we were watching one of the games, and as soon as it left the curler's hand, like the brooms weren't near it, she goes, "Oh, that's not good."
No.
and she was right. And
no, that's the term in curling. Throw it to the sweepers.
Yeah.
And they can control the weight and to some extent the amount of curl as well.
Look at that chest. And you see, she put a little bit more weight on it.
She did.
And it took the curl out of it.
The curl went right through the hole, so that was a miss by the Hicks team. Hanlon is laying 3 in the rings. There is a yellow corner guard right there, but it's not really guarding anything at this time. And Kathy will be asked to put another stone in the top of the house, I'm sure.
But because you can see in the previous end, they did, hit the rocks they want, but there wasn't enough power behind it.
Correct.
So this time they made that adjustment to put a little bit more oomph on it, but they didn't get the curl.
They didn't allow for the more oomph, as you say, the little less curls. So, so we're seeing a bit of struggle here from the Hicks team in the early going here. Once again, this is only the second end. There's lots of time to come back, but you've got to get it together here soon. So she's got to get some yellow rocks in play here. So she's
let's clear some of this out of here.
That's correct. Yeah. That's
look! Oh, here comes the book signing.
Oh, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. Mr. Thompson's here with
financial education.
So, and here's I just asked for a hit here to remove some of the red rocks from the rings. Pretty sure she'll move something out of here. Alexa's got a pretty nice stone coming. But it only removes one of the 4 red rocks over there.
And she gets in behind a little protection there too.
Yeah, she did. A nice outcome. She is tucked in under the guard they put up at the first the end. But again, Heidi's taking no prisoners. She's actually going to ask Kathy to go after that red rock or that yellow rock, which is a little surprising. But Keith, if they're not there, they can't count.
That's whoa. That could be in the book.
It might be, yeah.
That could be it's the second edition.
It could be, yes. I'll give that tip to Steve. So now this is not an easy shot, but again with the curl, they're going to be pretty handy here, I think, to get by the guard.
Just by the guard,
and look at that.
Nice shot by Kathy Floyd.
Very nice. So the Hanlon team continues to lay 4 rocks in the circles, and Team Hicks Hicks is struggling. This is Alex's final mate stone. No, I guess it'd be her first mate stone. So again, I think that for the rest of this end, the job will be just to bang midways there. Try to get some yellow rocks positioned.
Well, and if they can get one buried, because they do have final
have last
shot
rock.
here, so they might be able to get, still get a couple. And we've seen it time again where you have a whole bunch of the other, but all of a sudden you get one rock buried in there and they can't get at it, and then you can draw in for the second.
Yeah, it comes down to forcing the other team to have a miss.
Yeah, because there is no guards. I mean, there's one.
Well, there's one. There's a corner
Yeah.
guard, but it's not guarding anything, and this is got, it's just got a lot of ice here. But we'll see what happens. There's a chance this could just be a complete miss, and it is. That's not Team Hicks'
No.
needs. They are showing some struggles here this morning for sure.
But that was the Jane Arsenal thing. There was no
sweeping.
No sweeping.
Yeah.
I was concerned.
and it proved to be correct because there was no sweeping and it was a lost shot. So here's Kathy avoided with her shot, and there is sweeping.
Yeah.
Jane
It
and
seems
Kathy
to
are
have
both-
enough weight there.
Yeah, I think so. I think just kind of keeping it clean. Again, this is just needs to be top house. It doesn't even really need to be in the house. Just guarding the 4 foot.
Yeah.
That's exactly what she's done. So.
Kathy goes, that's not quite what I.
No, it was probably off by about a centimeter, but it was pretty
Yeah.
good for the average girl made shot. So, I know because of their experience that Kathy and Heidi are hard on themselves. They like to be precise, but still pretty good shot.
This is Alexa Washburn. Their final shot here.
Yes.
The second end.
And I think this Keith, she may be just trying to come down and sit on top of these reds as opposed to remove them. If she could get in on top of that red, it's going to be hard to get it out. I'm not sure it's going to curl enough.
Yeah.
She'll get a piece of it, but she's not going to. She's going to sit wide open.
It's going to bounce
See if
out.
that, see if that had a curl.
She wanted to freeze to it.
Yeah, freeze to the top red there, and then how do you get it out?
Yeah.
Those red rocks behind it. This should not be a big challenge for Kathy. There's always a chance that she could miss it, but it is sitting wide open, and just a matter of the right weight here.
By coming to this now, it gets me in the Christmas mood. Because
Okay.
I mean, we're up here. We have the garland up here.
Sure.
The Christmas tree is up because we're in the banquet room of at Thistle St. Andrews, and get the ice. And
There's no presents yet, though.
No present. Maybe tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's no presents here yet.
Here's Heidi's first shot here in the second end.
And they are sweeping it to try to hold
Yeah.
the line. It's looking pretty good from what I can see. I don't see a jam there. Look at that.
Nice shot by Heidi, right on.
Yeah. So, Heidi has one rock left, and Hicks has two. But we tell you at home, folks, that there are 6 red rocks sitting in the house for our team hand at this time. Not impossible for Hicks to score a 1. She's got to open up that
Yeah.
4 foot, so she for her last rock she can have a chance to draw the 4 foot.
Yeah. So I think she's trying to clear a few here, and then, I mean, worst case scenario, then maybe her last shot she freezes to.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's she's going to try to get some of those rocks out of the 4 foot, so she'll have a shot with the last one.
So I'm looking at the angles here, see what would be most productive.
Yes. Yeah. It'd be nice to get rid of at least 2, if not 3. If she hits that right, I would think 3 would go.
We'd like to thank our sponsors here that helped make this event possible. Obviously, Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club, and the great work that the volunteers have done, as well as Mike Buckley. He's been a great help
Yes.
over the club over the last number of years. The World Financial Group, Bell TV, and Molson Coors, and of course the Canadian Mental Health Association.
Yes, these events are not possible, Keith, without sponsorship, as you know, and so thank you to all the sponsors for stepping up. This is a great event that could not be done without our sponsors. Here's
Kathy's first shot here in the
shot.
second end.
She is coming with some heat. Miss Carolina, she's going to make contact. She's going to move a couple of reds here. For sure.
There you go. Good.
Yeah.
And get two of them out. That's good.
That makes her a possibility of scoring here a little better. So the question is Kathy or is Heidi going to take the challenge on to try to remove that yellow rock and get it out through the back, out through the side without jamming it on her own red rock? And that is what she's going to attempt here, is to tap that yellow rock out through the side here.
Well, and these shots are important too because, you know, you could have those in tighter games.
That's correct.
Right? So you say, hey, listen, you know, we could be in a 2-1 game where we're facing that. So we've got to go at it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't leave it there. This is the correct shot. It's a bit of a finesse shot to get that out through the hole, but we'll see if she does it here in a minute. I'm pretty sure she's.
And after this end, folks, Bill will give us updates on what is happening around Thistle this morning.
Sure.
As we have eight games in action.
There's Heidi's shot on the way. The girls are giving it a good sweep to get it out through the back without touching the red, and she did.
Nice shot.
So Kathy Hicks is looking at
she's just drawing in.
5 red. All she can do is draw down to this red one on the button. She does have the red one on the button for backing, so she can afford to get it a tad heavy, but she's going to draw it in there. And
The decision is how much ice and weight.
That's correct. Yeah. Remember, throw it to the sweepers, give them a chance to get it there. But this is a critical shot for Team Hicks. Looking at five red ones in the ring, already down 5 points. She has to make this good. So she has the broom set. She's sliding down to get ready to deliver the stone. She's kind of checking the ice on the way down. She feels there might be a scratch or something, but where she goes, anyway, we'll see what happens here.
This is the final shot of the second end. Hicks is looking at 5 red stones. And all she wants to do is just draw in.
Just draw the button.
Just draw
what
the
any
button.
good skip should be able to do. There's no guards in the way. It's just a matter of drawing the button. So it's selecting the right ice and the right weight. And yeah, see, she's taking her time. She realizes.
As well, she should.
Yeah. Now these games, Keith, are not under time clocks. If this was a provincial or national event, of course, time would be a factor as well. But they do have the luxury here of having time clocks. So the rock is on its way. I think it has a decent weight, so it's all about line now.
They're liking it.
Yeah.
Nice looking shot here.
She might have saved the day for
nice
herself.
shot.
One yellow in the second end for Team Hicks. So
good shot by Kathy.
That was a great shot by Kathy. A pressure shot, not a shot that is never fun drawing against 5. But she made it. So that's game on here on sheet 6. So just go around the sheets. Over on sheet 1. After 2 ends of play, Dobson is up 2-1 over Talon. On sheet 2, it's Murphy and Sullivan, and they appear to be tied 2-2 after 2 ends. Sheet 3 is 2-1. Dexter's 1, and Matthew is 2. Matthew's leading that game 2-1. Sheet 4, we're into the ladies' games here. Sheet 4, Robin McPhee is up 4-0 over Pinky. On sheet 5, Armstrong is up 2-1 over Smith. On sheet 7, we jump to sheet 7, and it looks like Tatlock has scored 1. They blanked the second end, so Tatlock is up 1-0 over Graham in their third end. And on sheet 8, Robichaud is 1-0 over Malay. And our sheet 6, it's 5-1 Hanlon over Hicks. So we're up to date. We'll update you again after maybe the fourth end.
Sounds like a plan. If you get a chance, join Vibe TV1 Scott Squires as he chats with Cyril Lunny on CTV's Sideline Scoop each Monday at 8:40 a.m. Atlantic, 9:10 a.m. Newfoundland. Get up to date on Bell Line Vibe TV1's weekly AUS sports coverage. That's Sideline Scoop, Mondays on CTV Morning Live Atlantic. Keith Rains here, along with Bill Ailes here at Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club in St. John, New Brunswick for the 6th annual Jimmy Sullivan Classic.
Classic it is. We've got some, our game's a bit of a runaway, but as I updated the scores there, Keith, there's a lot of close games out there. So keep an eye on things across the sheets.
Well, as we have, we just started this end, I'm just going to give the folks at home a little bit about Jim Sullivan and a little bit background on why we're here this weekend. Jim Sullivan, son of New Brunswick curling legend Dave Sullivan, took up the game of curling at age 12 and never looked back. His contributions to the game both on and off the ice left a lasting impression on the Atlantic and Canadian curling culture. Big, tall, and lanky, Jim could be seen smiling and talking to folks in curling clubs all across the Maritimes, and generally everyone he talked to smiled back. Jim had a large personality and love of people that learned him the reputation of being the nicest guy you ever want to lose to.
Yes. That's true.
And true to that reputation, Jim did his share of winning. He skipped the junior team, which captured the 1987 New Brunswick and Canadian Junior Men's Curling Championships and the 1988 World Junior Men's Curling Championship in Germany. The Sullivan Rink was New Brunswick's first world champion in any sport in more than 60 years. In 1990, Sullivan and his team was the silver medalist at the Labatt Brier, an era when 100 teams would turn out in New Brunswick for a shot at the provincial tankard versus 20 teams today. The team was inducted into the New Brunswick Sports Hall of Fame in 1994. Jim won countless other titles, including at the high school level in mixed curling, cash fields, Super League titles, and his favorite annual field, the Ormonte Open, held at the Gage Curling Club, where Jim won A section many times, taking home a boatload of prizes from the co-op. Jim was a lifetime member of the Capel Winter Club in Fredericton and a member of TSA, where he organized and chaired the TSA Fundy Cash Field. Jim Sullivan's legacy goes well beyond curling. The World Financial Group Jim Sullivan Curling Classic honors Jim, his passion for the game, and his friends in curling. Jim Sullivan.
Very nice fellow. I had the pleasure of knowing Jim, and everything you read about Jim is 100% true, Keith. A great guy all the way around.
So it's great when you can have a cause like what we're doing here, honoring Jim and mental health this weekend. That checks off competition is top notch.
It is.
And outstanding venue. So from what I understand, there was lots of teams that wanted to get in. There was a waiting list to get in to this event, and why wouldn't you? So if you're listening, folks, and you want to come down, there's no admission fee to come and watch some of this action. It's only going to get better as the day goes on. The championship Sunday starts at 8:30 with quarterfinals. We go at 8:30, 12, and 3 tomorrow. And we're going right on through today. We have draws at 2:30, 5:30, and then 9 o'clock tonight.
That's right.
So we've got a great outstanding weekend of curling here, and also if you'd like to come in and make a contribution to the Mental Health Association, that will be more than appreciated.
Yes, and the curling will just get better, Keith, as the day goes on. Again, with the draws, they get closer to the end of the round robin, and tomorrow the championship round will start. So
There's a nice shot there
Yes.
by I think that's Jane.
Arsenault.
Yeah. Got it in around those guards.
Yeah, she tucked that
They're
in nice.
the girls. I have to admit, they're throwing very well this morning. On the Hanlon squad, they're putting a lot of pressure on Hicks.
Yes, they are.
So-
They certainly came to play this
Yeah.
morning, and obviously getting off that 5-point lead in the first end sets them up pretty good. But they're
It
not,
gives you confidence too to try some different shot. I can do that.
It does. But they won't. They'll stick to their game
Yep.
plan. This team has enough experience that even though they have a lead, they will stick to their game plan and try to keep everything simple and clean. The Hicks team does have a couple of yellow rocks out front now, and this one I believe is going to tick on the guard. But at least at this end, they do have some yellow stones in play that they can use, and so that's something that the first couple of ends maybe they're just getting a feel for the ice, but they do seem to have caught on a little better here now. Heidi has asked Judy to remove that last yellow stone in the 12-foot. It's on its way. And Keith, there's no sweepers.
Uh-oh. Jane doesn't like that.
Jane doesn't like that, and I think she is going to get a piece of
Yeah,
it, but
she did.
barely enough to take it out the back. I think she was successful. But
She's shaking her head.
It was a near miss.
Almost got it. She might have got it outside the broom.
Might have just get that.
Well, like you said, and here, amateur guy. I used to curl here on Sunday nights, and when I went to UMSJ, we had our intramural curling was here.
Right.
But you have the skip down there, giving you the ice. Well, that ice is only as good enough as the weight you're.
The weight.
If you're throwing it too hard, then that's not gonna.
It's not the right ice.
That's not the right ice, right?
Yeah, so,
That's the intricacies of curling, right? Is knowing that touch. It's like I just refer to as playing golf around the green, the chipping and the putting. It's all a feel. It's a touch.
It is.
If I'm flopping it up, or if I'm punching it into the side hill and letting it release onto the green, it's all that feel, that touch, and that's if you don't play enough. That's the first thing that goes.
That's right.
And so, like curling, I imagine you have a lot of the guys here that just come and throw stones to keep their.
A lot of the competitive guys will come in on their lunch hours or through the day and just they'll just throw stones. And I know I even tell anybody that's new to the game,
Nice shot.
Nice shot. There
Eliminates both of them.
Exactly, yeah. So
there, she made up for that one.
Judy redeemed herself there. She made a nice
that
double.
was funny.
There was some yellow rocks building up. Heidi wasn't happy with that, so Judy made two of them.
No mistake there.
But to come out and practice is key to getting the touch and the feel for your shots. Like in a game, a club game takes about 2 hours to play. You're going to throw 16 rocks. You don't really have any time to work on fixing your shot. You need to come in, throw some practice stones, and that's how you get the balance and the feel for the rocks and the So, Kathy Hicks is line one though. Keith, we haven't said that very. She's shot rock at the back of the 4-foot, and she's asked, I believe, for another stone to be delivered to come maybe top 4. And the girls aren't sweeping this, so it could be a little.
Just waiting for it to
start
curling.
It will walk in there because she's probably got T-line weight, so I think she's got a
There we go.
shot.
Then it's moving now.
There you go. Yeah, so that's a nice shot. So they certainly have picked up their game a bit. So
I think that's Alexis Washburn.
Alexis Washburn, yeah. Into made stones. Yes, that was Alexis' first stone. Yeah, we did learn stones here. So. Yeah, so Kathy try to chip that out if she can. Kathy Floyd. So this is her first made stone for Team Hanlon as well. So they're going to try to chip that. She can only see about half of it, Keith. So this will be a delicate shot. Kathy, I think she's got a piece of it. So she's executed the shot just fine.
Nice shot. And it's such an advantage to have an experienced mate
Yes.
that Kathy is, and she makes a lot of big shots. And I guess that's the job of the mate, is to make the Skip's job
Yeah.
easier.
Skip's happy if he or she can just have to throw a guard or throw a draw to the forefoot. Doesn't always happen that way, but yeah, if it's a well executed end, the Skip should have some of the easier shots.
When I was going to UNB back in the 80s, they had the World Juniors up there at the Aiken Center.
Okay, yes.
And so, of course, the day draws, I think they gave the students, I think obviously, either they were free tickets or very, very little cost. Because
Sure.
if I was there, obviously it wasn't costing a lot. So we went there, and there was this team, I'll never forget, from Italy.
Okay.
Well, the first three guys on the team were more of a hindrance than a help to the Skip, right? So they were playing the U.S. But this Italian Skip, there'd be like tons of rocks, and he would always make the shot. Like how sometimes everyone started cheering for this guy because it was so
He would be the
entertaining.
underdog,
And
right?
as you know, Italians are very emotional
Yes,
people.
yes.
And he, the fist was pumping and the thing. it was so entertaining because like the other guys would miss their shots and this and that, but he would come in and he would just like, oh, it was incredible.
Yes.
And the Americans were getting frustrated because they had all these rocks and this
They
guy
were
was,
doing everything right, but this guy
making
was
double, triple takeouts and staying and
one-man wrecking crew.
a one-man wrecking crew. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch, but because see back then they didn't have the 4-guard rule.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So when they had, the only time you got a lot of rocks in play is if you kept missing.
That's right. So Kathy is going to take on the guard. She was asked to draw to the back forefoot there, and she just rubbed the guard. So we're into Skip Stones here
Yeah.
in
Third end.
and right now Hicks is laying one at the back of the forefoot. Now Heidi does have some reds at the front of the 8-foot, so she can move in there, but this end is certainly more rocks in play and a little more evenly played for both teams than the first two. So we'll see what happens here. Hanlon does have a hammer here in the third end, but currently Hicks is laying one. I think she's Kathy and Alexa seem to be looking at possibly putting a guard up here, so that Heidi cannot get at that back level as well.
And it looks a lot better up here than down there.
Yes, yes.
I've been down in Hack before when I was up in Fredericton at the seniors, and you sit in that hack, and you don't have the beautiful vantage point that we do up here.
You're looking straight down the sheet. You're not looking.
It's like a football game, and you're watching it at home. Why didn't he hit that guy wide open over the middle? And then all of a sudden you get a look at what the quarterback sees, and they got these 6'4", 6'5" linemen
Yes.
rushing after you with their arms up in the air. You're lucky you can see anything downfield.
Exactly. So I think Kathy Hicks here is going to execute the guard okay. She's not quite come to rest, but I think she's guarded the one top four. So Heidi will have a challenge now to get at that one at the back. She'll probably play some sort of a tap, I would think, to get that back. She's got some red rocks she can win over. So,
Depending on the angle, we should go that outside one or the next one in.
I think the next one in. And just tap that back. She's not looking to. Heidi's not looking to score big here. If she can score 1 or 2, as long as she scores, she's still very much in control of the game. So if she can get tap that one in to I watch it, and the next one maybe see if there's an opportunity to get 2. The across the sheets, Keith, over on sheet 1, that game still remains to be quite close. Talon is, I guess it's tied actually after 3.
And Wayne is here today.
Yeah, Wayne. Yeah, yeah.
Wayne went MIA there last night. He had Kyle there filling in for him, and they did a great job. They played well.
So Heidi's not going to make the tap backs. That's a bit of a missed shot there. So my guess would be that Kathy Hicks will put another guard to protect that one yellow at the back forward.
And steal. There you go.
So say giving up 5. In the first end, it's not over. You put the plan together and just soldier on, try to score some points. And they played this. The Hicks team has played this end very well. Jamie Murphy on sheet 2 has a 6-2 lead over the Sullivan team, Dave Sullivan's team.
Jamie from the Mayflower Curling Club down in Nova Scotia.
That's correct, yeah. And sheet 3, the Dexter Matthew game is tied at 2 after 3 ends. Sheet 4, Fee is 4-1 over Pinky.
Hicks is just putting the guard up.
Yeah, she's just. That's all. That would be the right call there. Just guard that up. So, how do you score your 1 here? Tap on that red. I think that's what she's looking at. So Keith, in this game, this is really the first pressure that Team Hanlon has been under.
Take a look here at the. Can you show us the overhead there, Dave? There. Okay. Can you come on over,
Sure.
Bill? There, you can get a look-see on our screen.
Yeah, I think she's probably looking at tapping this onto this, in this red onto
The
the
top,
red in the 8 foot.
the one at the 12.
Yes. And tap the top 12, and there's one in the 8 foot. So do a double tap into the 4 foot. It's a delicate shot. It's all very weight sensitive. So that's what Lucy's chosen to do. We'll see how much. She hasn't taken a lot of ice. So she might be coming with firm weight. So I don't think she's going to attempt to do the red tap and try to get the yellow completely. And she'll just be tapping for one here. Yeah, she's just got control right here, so it's just a tap for one, I think. She's definitely going to make contact with the top red. It's just a matter of where's the back red going to go. Ooh,
Well, she misses it. There.
So a steal one for Team Hicks here.
There you
in the
go.
Third end. So it's game on. It'll be actually 5-2 after 3 ends of play here on sheet 6. So that'll be a confidence builder.
Yeah, for sure.
For the Hicks team.
One of our major sponsors here, and obviously major sponsor curling across the country, is the World Financial Group. Knowledge is power, and WFG is determined to provide people throughout North America with a financial education that empowers them to have a better future. The World Financial Group. Visit bellalign.ca/TV1 for community channel schedule. TV1 is available to Vive customers in Atlantic Canada on Channel 1. Vive TV1, powered by Bell Alliance. Keith Rains, Bill Ailes here at Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club for the 6th annual Jim Sullivan Classic. We got 28 teams involved in play this weekend, 18 men's teams, 10 women's teams. And on our featured sheet, we have former world senior curling champion Heidi Hanlon from Thistle St. Andrews taking on the Kathy Hicks squad from the Capital Winter Club. The score is 5-2 after 3 ends. These are 8-end games. And we've got a big day of curling in front of us.
We do, Keith. Yeah, I think the last draw today is at 9 p.m. So
Yay.
Yes.
I'm missing my hockey games, Saturday night hockey.
No.
I guess that's what you can't PVR. It's just not the same. It's just
No.
because you'll hear about the scores. But the good thing that they've done in some of the games, I know that I used to do this in baseball, is they have 30, and 30, right?
I love that. In the
I
morning.
love that.
Yeah. Especially if you're on the road and it's
Yeah.
a late game and you're not going to get to see it. So.
Yeah, they give you all the highlights in 30 minutes.
Yes.
I said, okay, I can do that. And in this afternoon's draw, on our sheet, we have at 2:30 will be, I believe, men's action will be underway, and it's in dark blue, so I can't see it. Bill, how about you?
Let's have a look here. I'm going to get to the right schedule. It'll be the sheet 6 at
2:30.
2:30. Looks like.
Is that a Jones?
Yes.
Jones
okay,
and
Scott Jones and
Kendall Thompson.
Thompson.
So that's at 2:30, and then at 5:30 we're back to women's play, and Shelley Graham versus Colleen Pickney.
Yes.
And then there's at the 9 o'clock prime time.
It'll be a good game. James Grattan and Mark Dacey.
Yes.
Two big names. Both of those guys have been to the Briar, so.
Mark Dacey, that's the Newfoundland squad.
Yes, but I think Mark was out of Halifax for a number of years, but I think he's gone over to Newfoundland. So.
And James is a perennial powerhouse.
Yes.
In the province.
So there's lots of good curling coming up in the course of the day. And we've got a good game here. Even I know it started out with a 5 in the first end, but it's game on. I think both teams here have sort of picked up the pace, and Team Hicks is they're battling back. So.
We get 3 guards up here.
We do, yeah. They're mixing it up here real good. There's a long yellow guard, and Heidi has two short guards. So
I think time to come in.
Time to come in. That's right. So.
And that's what Kathy did before. She got some stones in play, and just a slight miss, and
that's what turns it around. Just it makes the fewest number of misses. Both these teams are going to make most of their shots, but the probability is that they're not going to make all of their shots. So it's who misses and when. So this is a call for a come around draw. This will start to curl here. So she's going to get it by the red guard. Not sweeping it, so it looks like she's by the guard, but she might be a little deep. She might be backhouse. All the way out the back. So that's again. There's that miss. There was an opportunity to get one in there buried.
Yeah.
Now Kathy will ask Heidi will ask to have her red rocks promoted into the circles and be guarded. So Judy Blanchard is her first shot. So she's, I'm not sure what they called her, Keith. I don't believe that's the ice for a tap up. They might be letting it guard. Yes. I'm not sure what the call was. She's going to tap her own red, but she's going to tap it way back. So I'm not sure if that was intended to peel the long yellow guard and just a miss. But I don't think.
We'll have to. That have to be one of the questions during the scrum after the game.
Yes. Yeah. We'll do. Yeah. What were you thinking there?
Yeah. We need the thought that what.
So once again, we talk about it, the misses, and both teams here have missed there, but lots of rocks to come. So.
But now it's time for Hicks to get some rocks in the house.
That's right. Yeah, if she can get one buried in here. This too looks to be a little warm. Sweepers aren't touching it.
Jane Arson would not be happy.
No. I think it is going to stop in the house.
Yeah.
And it just may not be buried. So I believe that was Brenda Stern through that. But it's just half buried. It's still not a bad shot, Keith. Judy will be asked to just get by that skinny by that guard and remove that level stone. She's coming again with a bit of weight.
Not wasting any time.
No. She's going to get a piece of the other to remove it and roll. She's got to roll out herself. I believe she had to hit that. She had to hit that a little thicker to stay and maybe roll behind the corner guard buried.
So what's next on your schedule this year? You have any big events coming up?
For curling?
Because you were the man. You were the man with the Riverboat Classic this year, right?
I was.
The captain. The captain.
I was the captain.
Gee, you could be like have a commercial.
Well,
Captain.
yeah. I don't think
Bill.
there's
Captain Bill.
just captain for a year. The Riverboat is a fun event that is held here every year. We just recently had the 36th straight year of Riverboat Championships or Riverboat Curling.
And that's in October, right after Thanksgiving.
It is, yeah, usually the third week of October.
For all the folks at home that might not know about the Riverboat, there's what, 40 teams?
There's 40 teams.
And come from Boston, Maine,
yeah.
Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island.
Yeah. Ontario.
Wow.
We have some guys that come down from Ontario.
That's great. Beautiful time of year.
It is, yeah. And it's one of the first spiels to open the club, so everybody's pretty much green, hadn't thrown many rocks prior to the Riverboat. So it's the level of competition isn't quite at this level. It's more of a club champion, club curler type thing. But there is certainly some good teams that attend. But yeah, it's a fun event.
Now, what would the entry fee for something like that be?
The entry fee for that's $440 a team.
Okay.
So, and what
you're
that
guaranteed about four games?
Three or four games. Yeah, you're guaranteed 3 or 4 games of curling. In addition to that, Keith, we have on the Thursday night there's a roast beef dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday night there's a salmon dinner.
Wow. And
there's lunches provided both Friday and Saturday. So there's some food. We have live entertainment in the evenings. So there's.
So Thompson is here.
Thompson is here. Yeah. Speaking of entertainment, Thompson is here.
And Cooper, I imagine Coop must be around for that.
Yeah, Coop. Yeah.
They could do their own show.
They probably could. Yeah, we don't let them though.
No.
We actually bring in some.
We don't let them though.
Yeah,
we don't let them near the mic.
Not at all. No, we bring in some entertainment for the evening. So no, the guys come from, like I said, from Boston, from Maine. There's I think this year there's a small community down the coast called Belfast, Maine.
Yes.
They have a curling club, and they usually send up 3 or 4 teams. So yeah, no, it's a fun event, and it's open to anyone. Anyone that team.
Yeah.
So.
And I hear there's a waiting list for that too.
There has been.
There's teams that put their money down
when they
before they leave for next year.
That's true.
That's great. That is really good.
It's a good event for the club, and it's a few pints shared during the course of that weekend. Yeah, I know it's
shocking. I'm shocked.
Surprise.
I'm shocked.
But it's
a good time had by all.
Yeah. One of the gentlemen that comes on an annual basis from Graham and Ann brings a honking big lobster.
Oh, they shot by Kathy Floyd.
There we go.
But no, I've heard many good things about the Riverboat over the years, and you can tell it's a big deal here, folks, because if you go downstairs and you come into the lounge area to the right, all the captains from all the years. So I think there's a lot of responsibility that goes with that role.
That role for 1 year there is, but I got to tell you, Keith, there's the core group. There's a core group of about 15 guys, maybe 20 that are sort of the backbone of that event, and they have everything under control. The year that you're the captain, certainly you have some additional duties, but that core group, they've got everything under control.
Well, you run a great event, so it's a well-oiled machine. You don't have to reinvent anything.
That's exactly right. Each year they do bit of a gut check and say, is there anything that we need to tweak? But there's nothing big that you have to change. So yeah.
I was thinking, it was funny, I forget where I was at, but after day 2, there was a lot of ailments going on. I said, well, you should get a soft tub out here. Yeah. have the one of the companies be a sponsor of it.
Yeah.
And have the tub out there with a little tent over it.
Oh, that'd be a great idea.
If they don't want to stretch, jump in the tub.
Always a critic. Yeah, so we just found out that we do have some people tuning in.
Well, there's under 1 million. There's under 1 million listening to this event.
But from Ottawa.
Well under. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine everyone, because as we said earlier, I was a little disappointed with the Olympic Committee that had the Royal of the Rings the same weekend
as this event. Yes.
I mean, obviously there'll be an email going out.
Yes. Nerve of them.
The nerve.
So we're in the 4th end here, Keith. I guess maybe we should get back to the game.
Well,
back to the game,
yes.
Away from the riverboat and back to the game in front of us here. And Heidi Hanlon will have hammer in this end, and she has one. I guess she has a biter and one in the 8-foot with a couple of rocks out front, and then there's also a couple of hicks, a couple of yellow guards out there as well. So setting up pretty good for Heidi this end. We're into Made Stones here, or actually, I'm sorry, we're into her skip stone. Her first skip stone, and so she's probably her and Kathy are, and they've called Jane Arsenault down for a consultation as well. So the 3 of them are going to discuss what to do. Yeah, I would have thought just a straight come around, but they're looking at maybe throwing it into a draw. Through a couple of ports, so it would be that's what she's chosen to do. So she's going to come between the 2 yellow guards as well as her own 2 red guards to get into the rings with this. It's a tough shot, but if she makes it, it's going to be hard to get it out.
And some other events are coming up this year on the New Brunswick calendar scene. Is we have the Scotties, the Women's Championship will be starting January 3rd to 7th in Moncton. And the men's event will be in early February, up at the Miramichi, and they'll put on a great event there.
They will.
And the U18 National Junior Championships will be taking place in St. Andrews, New Brunswick, April 9th to 14th. And I know all the competitors that are coming from across the country will enjoy their time at our beautiful seaside resort town.
Yes.
It's a little quiet in April, but they'll liven it up.
They will liven it up, and it'll be a nice venue just the same.
Here comes Heidi's first shot.
She's got to navigate around the first guard, and she's done that. And I think she's got a good-looking shot here, Keith. That's going to be just probably T-line weight and well buried. So Kathy Hicks has 1 rock remaining in this end. Heidi has hammer, so she's pretty much got to follow her down. Heidi's shot did go back 4, so if she can follow that down and freeze on top of it, it'll make Heidi's scoring area a little tougher to get to.
This is Kathy's last shot here.
That's correct. Yeah. So she has taken pretty much the same ice. So she's chosen to follow Heidi down and try to sit on top of that last rock thrown by Heidi. So she's in the hack here now, just getting ready to deliver. So once again, this critical shot. If she was ever to wreck on the guard out front, Heidi would have a chance at a big end here again.
Kathy Hicks' final shot here in N4.
So I think she's got a good one. I think she's going to get certainly by the top yellow. So she's got a good chance of getting through the hole here.
Nice shot.
I think
looking good.
She has. She's followed her down and going to tap her back.
Beautiful shot by Hicks.
Nice shot as well. So
Heidi's looking for that same path.
That's right. Now both of them just threw it. I mean, so Heidi throws this. She's going to throw it to sit on top of that to counter one. I don't think she'd take on the challenge if she could ever tap it back. Again, she is calling it back my way, so maybe she is going to take on the challenge of trying to tap that.
Tap it out, and she could count 2, or if it stays, she could count 3.
Yeah.
The top one, there is a biter on that top.
Biter. Yeah,
that,
if she
on
could
the 12.
it's a tough shot, but if she could get it out cleanly and stick her shooter, it would be for 4. So it's certainly a tough shot to do.
Well, and if she makes it and they count 4, they might be shaking hands.
They could very well. Yeah, it would be a.
And then we just could talk about Wayne Cooper and Dobson the rest of the for the next hour.
We could do that. There's enough to be said about both of them that we could do that.
Since they're not here, I don't know where they are. Do you know where they're at?
Oh, I know where they're at.
Yeah. These people that organize events and leave.
It's I know.
So you draw the short straw. You had to stay.
I had to stay behind. Yeah. I could have gone to Ottawa as well, but no, I'd rather be here. Heidi's shot is on her way. It's on its way. It's looking good so far. She's certainly going to get by. She's going to get by the guard. It's a matter of.
Does it have enough?
No, she's gonna. I think she's just going to get her one. Yeah, she's going to get her one out of this, which is fine. That's all she really needed.
No, again, nice shot by Heidi.
Nice shot. So that'll make it 6-2 after 4.
But a great shot by Hicks.
Oh, that was a crucial shot for her to keep the game going. If Heidi scored a multiple point end there, like if she could have scored a maximum of 4, that could have been game over. No, Hicks is battling back and making a game out of this.
Here is some events that are coming up in Canada from the Curling Canada Association perspective. The World Financial Group Continental Cup, January 11th to 14th in London, Ontario. The New Holland Canadian Juniors will be January 13th to 21st in Shawinigan, Quebec. The Scotties Tournament of Hearts, January 27th to February 4th in Penticton, BC. The Tim Hortons Brier, March 3rd to 11th, will be in Regina, Saskatchewan this year. And the Ford World Curling Championship, the women's, March 17th to 25th in North Bay, Ontario. So a few big events coming up across the country, and like we have been commenting on, the Roar of the Rings are taking place for this week in Ottawa.
In Ottawa, that's correct.
And the winners of that will be getting their ticket punched to Seoul, Korea.
Seoul, Korea. That'd be quite an opportunity to curl in that part of the world. And there'll be some great competition there, both men's and women's, to represent Canada at this coming year's Olympics. So those games will be televised during the course of the week.
And 5, why don't you give the score update for all the folks? As we said, we got 8 sheets going here, 3 men's and 5 of the ladies.
Okay, sure, Keith. Over on sheet 1, Talon has a 4-2 lead over Dobson. On sheet number 2, it looks to me like it's 6-4 for J.B. Murphy over Dave Sullivan. On sheet 3, all tied up at 2 after 3, so they must be still in the. Maybe they haven't posted the 4th end. So no. So after 3 ends of play over there, it's tied 2-2 now. They are playing in the 5th, but they haven't got the score up for the 4th, so we're not quite sure what happened there. In the ladies' games, sheet 4, McPhee is 4-2 over Pinky. Armstrong is 5-1 over Smith. Our game, Hanlon is 6-2 over Hicks. The Tatlock game is a real close one. It's Graham is 2-1 over Tatlock after 3 ends of play. And again, I don't see the score for the 4th end there, so we're not quite sure what happened. And on sheet 8, Robichaud leads 4-1 over Malay. And that's all the sheets updated for now. We're back in play here at end number 5 on our feature sheet.
Our next draw will be at 2:30 this afternoon, 2:30, 5:30, and then at 9 o'clock this evening, because there is a presentation going on this evening.
That's correct.
Last year, it was Greg Zed spoke on behalf of mental health here last year.
Right.
It was Greg's a great speaker, very passionate. And I don't know who they have lined up for this year.
Sure.
But that's why we have a little half-hour break in there, so all the teams can. And I imagine we must have a full slate of games. The 9 o'clock draw, correct?
9 o'clock draw looks
Full.
I think 9 o'clock draw is not quite
No,
full.
the full draw is at 5.
Full draw at
2:30
5,
and 5:30.
Yeah, so at 9 o'clock, you get six games going at 9 o'clock and
Yeah.
8 games going at 5:30.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of curling. And we say as the day goes on, because this is the last day
Well,
of round robin.
this is moving day here. This is prime time. You can have one little off game maybe yesterday, and but now it's and these teams are Heidi's at 1-1 record,
Yes.
and Hicks is at 0-2.
That's correct. So coming into this morning's draw, we have I think 3 teams, Keith, that have 2 wins and no losses. So Team Armstrong is undefeated. Team Malay is undefeated coming into today's play, and Pinky is undefeated coming into today's play. So yeah, these are big games, and anybody, there's a number of teams that have 1 loss. And for the teams with 1 loss, that's pretty much what you can afford. We looked at this earlier, and 6 out of the 10 teams
Yes.
will make it into the playdowns. So here in the 5th end, Team Hanlon has 2 locks in the rings, and Hicks has a couple of corner guards, and
A little peek there. Yeah.
yeah, she's just removed one of the corner guards. So again, with Hicks having hammer, Heidi will try to not let anything get set up here if she can.
I can remember last year when we had the tankard here. Remember the snowstorm?
There's always a snowstorm. It seems anytime there's a big event here, there's usually a snowstorm.
Well,
sometime during the weekend.
Yeah, and thank goodness I had my 4x4, because we had a couple of our crew were staying uptown, and the taxis, I don't think were even go. I said, I'll drive you uptown. Don't worry about that. It was like a ghost town uptown.
Yeah.
Some of the streets, but yeah, we've been very fortunate. If you're tuning in from away, we had a great July, August, and fall here in southern New Brunswick. I think all over the Maritimes, really.
Yes.
And we've dodged the bullet, at least in this part of the world, as far as that white stuff. So far. And so we're into December.
Yes.
So we can handle a little bit better, because when you have a snowstorm in November, it just makes the
Long winter.
long winter.
Yes.
So we've been blessed in that regard, and today the sun is out again. It was nice to see. We had a little rain yesterday, but the sun is out. It's cool, and it's supposed to get mild again. They're talking 8-9 degrees there mid next week.
Yeah, the weather, it has been like cold one day and mild the next. It's
Yeah.
been a seesaw battle, but we'll take it.
Yeah. Well, and typically over the years, we've always had more snow at Easter than we did at Christmas.
Yeah, here in
I have pictures to prove it. I mean, people would come to the house in their regular shoes, and at Easter time you get your boots on and stuff. So.
certainly. Heidi continues to peel away any kind of a guard that Kathy seems is trying to put up. So she's laying Hanlon's laying two in the rings with a center guard, and I believe this is Alexa that's throwing outward into main stones, and she's going to try to come around the red center guard, I believe, and get one in the rings. But she's going to be a little light, I think, Keith. She's going to be actually in front of the red center. So struggles are back on again for Team Hicks, but they still have a fighting chance here. I'm just going to come around everything there and put another one, I believe, in the forefoot. And you can see she's taking lots of ice for the straw. She's got the broom in the middle of the 12-foot for the bar in the center. So she's expecting a lot of curl. Floyd delivering the stone.
We haven't had a lot of shots in that side of the ice here, so it'll be interesting to see how that reacts.
How much this will snap. She got nice weight. It is holding out there, Keith. There it goes.
Yeah.
But, certainly not going to get. Well, it might get to center. Where'd that go? Yeah. A lot of curl.
Is that touching the touching the
just
12?
Just a bite or top 12, and it's in addition to counting, it's also guarding the one that she has in the forefoot. So Kathy will ask Alexa here to throw a little bit of some heat here to remove a couple of reds. Alexa's getting ready to deliver her stone here, and she has asked for a hit on the red stones. One will go for sure.
Yeah.
Just to see
I think she might get both.
She might get both going. Yeah. No, she just hit it a little too thin. So Hicks or Heidi will remain lying two red counters, and we're into skip stones here now. Heidi will throw the first one. Team Hicks does have hammer. They don't have anything counting in the rings as of yet. Put another guard up on that center to guard that one in the fourth.
I was teasing last night. I had Dale Parkhill.
Oh yes, Dale. Yeah.
Dale brought his stopwatch up here. I'm just saying. He was okay.
Yeah, good for Dale. What was he going to do with it?
Oh, he was doing the times. He was doing the times. I said, "Whoa, you're serious?"
High tech.
He gave me his name. He said, "Keith, if you're down a man, I'm there for you."
Okay.
Because we had to make a few adjustments with the on-air talent.
Right. Yes.
And but Dale, yeah, great guy.
Oh yeah, Dale's he
coaches the
wheelchair curling.
Wheelchair curling.
He does, yeah.
Very
Cooper.
Very involved in that. It was good. Like all of a sudden he hauls this thing out. I go, wait, I'm doing the splits. I went, you're the first guy. I'm liking you. Of course, Felipe. He had his iPad, and he was keeping all the stats for me. My voice. Okay.
That's really high tech.
Right.
Yeah. You're not going to get that out of me.
We're going to have to pay extra for this.
You are.
He was. Yeah. It was. Of course, that's the coach.
That's the coach.
Coaching him, right? Yeah. He loves that stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Stats. Who's
player percentages.
Yeah. Draws and hits.
Yeah.
It's good.
We don't use any of that in our Thursday night team.
What?
Men's team. No.
Shocked.
No.
I'm
Yeah,
shocked. And don't you guys videotape all your games to go over them afterwards?
But if you asked us after the game, we'd tell you that we curled probably 90 to 100%.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't really need to. You know, that would just confuse the numbers if we had that.
Oh my goodness.
We figured we curled pretty good without the technology. Hicks is trying to decide here how they're gonna get one
Yeah.
in there to score. This
Yeah.
would be Kathy's first shot, I believe, and yeah. Alexa just talking things over to see how she's going to get one in there.
Just tuning in, it's the fifth end. Here, the games are 8 ends in length, unless we have a tie, then we'll go to an extra end. And Kathy has been curling well. She's been making some big shots today, and she's going to be called upon again to see what she can get together.
Just to try to get one in the scoring area.
Yeah. And if she could score 2 here, make it a 6-4 game.
Oh, it
and
would
then
be final twins would be very interesting.
hooah,
Yes, game on.
game on.
I'm not sure what the call is here, Keith. Kathy's able to deliver first stone and is coming with a bit of weight, so she's probably going to try to open up the front a little bit, so she'll have a chance with her last one to have access to the 4-foot.
Try to hit that right.
Yeah, she must be just going to peel that out. And see, that's actually a good shot. So now, even though Team Hanlon is laying probably 3 counters, Kathy Hicks will have there's not a lot of guards out there now. She will have access to the 4-foot on the last shot. So Heidi will put some sort of a guard up here, but it'll just be 1 guard, so she will have a chance to score 1 here on her last shot. So Heidi's coming down to make her last shot.
She's going to put it right there. Yeah. It's top 12.
So top 12, so close to the center line, guarding the one that she has back button. And it'll make Kathy Hicks' shot a little more difficult, but again, she should have a chance to score here. Underway, and once again she's called for just a top 12-foot. Weight looks pretty good. It's just got a curl, but we know it will. We've seen them walk over there before, so nice shot by Heidi.
That's her last shot here at the 5th.
That's correct.
And she couldn't have placed it any better.
Just what they talked about. That's how they drew it up, and that's where it ended up. It's
Another day at the office for Heidi.
It really is, yeah. Pretty impressive to watch these girls curl. Having them curl out of our club, I've seen them curl quite a few times, and they're pretty amazing.
Do the girls play against the guys sometimes?
They do.
For competition?
Yeah, they do.
One little wager on the side, maybe?
I don't know about that, but yeah, on the I think Tuesday nights, some of the bigger teams are in the league, more competitive teams, I guess we should call them, are in the league, and yeah, they have to get the games. There's just not enough ladies teams to give them the quality of game that they need to stay sharp. So Kathy Hicks is just, her and Alexa are just looking at broom positioning and where they need to put the broom to get to 4-foot. Basically, she's got to draw, like she did in the 4th, and she's pretty much got to draw to the buck to score 1.
Getting lots of ice out there.
Yes, yeah, that's a lot of it. But she can't risk crashing on that center line guard, so she has to take the extra ice to get around that. And the question will be, will it, with that extra ice, will it curl enough, dive towards center to get a piece of the buck?
Well, that's been the challenge today, is the right weight.
Yes.
Because you try to push a little too much and it takes the curl out of it.
That's right. So this is, I think her strategy here, though, Keith, if she was to take less ice and if she was ever to crash on the center line, she'd be giving up 3 or 4. With this, with taking the extra ice, as long as she gets by the guard, if she doesn't get number 1 out of it, at least she's going to cut down to a steal.
Yeah.
So I think that's...
She'll have to get her sweepers on this one.
She will, yeah. So here it comes, and they jump it right at the tee line. So I'm not concerned about weight. I think she's got to be pretty close there. We'll see what happens there. Her mate now, Alexa's coming out.
She's coming out too.
To help them sweep. So
let's see what
not
happens.
Not a good sign. Not a good sign here. I think that's going to stop
Wow.
short of the rings and be a steal 4. So,
Looking at it over.
yeah. You may see the Velcro snap. The gloves come off the handshakes, but I think they're talking. They haven't decided that yet. So it looks like they might play them back.
Yep. We got to come back this way anyhow.
That's right. Yeah. So why not play them back?
Why not play them back? Well, and like you say, we've got to get our weights on, our shots on. So let's play one more.
That's right. They've got another game after this.
Yep.
That'll probably be the 5:30 game. They've got another game to play today. So let's throw them back. At least play the 6 ends and get our weight down.
If you have a chance, folks, watch Inside the AUS for a look at what makes Atlantic University sport the ultimate student-athlete experience. Inside the AUS is available to Vive customers in Atlantic Canada on Channel 1, as well as TV online. Live TV 1, powered by Bell Alliance. And a big thank you has to go to our sponsors of this event, Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club, World Financial Group, Bell Alliance TV, Molson Coors, and the Canadian Mental Health Association, and all the many, many volunteers who are here and in Ottawa
Yes.
to make this event successful.
Part of the organizing committee chose to go to Ottawa.
Well, they're probably on a recon mission, checking out other events to see what they could, bring back here to, fine tune the events that the Thistle hosts.
I'm sure.
It's not all fun and games, Bill.
No, I'm sure.
It's a lot of business is being done up there.
There'll be a lot of business, and that's for sure. Yes.
They're going to wear the colors proud. And if they don't, they're from the Capital Winter Club.
Yeah. No, there's a.
Hey, I love the Capital Winter Club. I was up there when they hosted the senior nationals
They
there
did,
last year.
yes,
So
yeah.
there was a big reception, and they were promoting their summer event. So they had Brad Jacobs was there, and Jennifer Jones, and it was a great week of curling, because they had a little fun thing going on there during the seniors,
Okay.
right, where they had on ice Randy Burby.
Oh, Randy
Yeah,
Furby.
right.
Yes,
Randy was there, because he's involved in the Everest group. Right?
He is, yes.
So, yeah, so it was a good time had by all, and the Capital Winter Club. There's another great, a lot of history up there,
There
a lot of
certainly is.
tradition.
Yeah, and there's been some provincial champs come out of that club as well.
And I talked to Wayne Talon last night there, and they're taking 2018 off to regroup, as they
Yes.
had a busy 2017. But 2019 is looking like some big events are planned, curling events are planned for there
At the Capitol?
they're going to be hosting them at the Harvey,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
Mixed nationals, I think, is one of the things Wayne was talking about. I think he mentioned the Travelers too. I'm not sure.
Could be. That's a great event if they could get that.
But there's a couple, and they've changed the challenge they have was the cooling unit,
Oh, yes.
right? So that sort of has been rectified, so what was it's the Vaughan Harvey? We got the Willie O'Reed over north, and then we've got the Harvey. No,
Not the Junction. You're not thinking of Fredericton
no,
Junction.
no. I'm thinking Farrington there, but the new rink that Stu plays out of.
I'm not sure.
Okay, it's going to bug me now. Buster
sure.
Harvey. No, it's a Harvey something. It's someone's going to text us on this.
Oh, I'm
one.
sure. I'm sure.
I'm going to have to go through the alphabet.
Yeah.
Because they have the Scotiabank field is right next to it, adjacent to it. That's Scotiabank South field. Because they have the Scotiabank North field over by Willie O'Reed. and that's where the senior nationals were held. And that was a beautiful.
That one I have been to. That is a very
Yeah.
nice facility. I'm trying to think of an athlete that was a Harvey. But it'll
Well, it
come.
was Buster Harvey. He
Oh.
was like a player, but it's not Buster.
No.
But Harvey is in the name.
Okay.
Why do I see Von Harvey? Because I'm thinking
Von Harvey's in Moncton.
In Moncton, right?
Yeah.
The road.
Yes.
Okay, it's all right. I'm going to let it go, then I'll come back to it. But needless to say, some big events planned for 2019 up in Fredericton area. So stay tuned to that.
Yes.
And here we are. We're into the
Sixth end. And
sixth end.
As no surprise, they're keeping it relatively clean, although Team Hamlin do have a couple of guards out there that I'm sure they'd like to have go away. Their intention in this end would be to keep it as clean as possible and to keep Hicks from either scoring at all or keep it in one.
Well, and you want to keep that edge. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
Forget the score.
Yeah.
Like, you look at it and say, it's 0-0. We've got to make our shots. Because, sometimes if you put your foot off the gas, sometimes it's a little hard to get back.
The other team will take advantage. I mean,
And you and I talked about that before the game today, as we talked about not only the physical component that is involved in playing. Like, some of these teams could be playing 8 games this weekend.
that's right.
But it's the physical side. And last year at the Scotties, I had a chance to talk with Melissa Adams and her squad. And that was one of the things that they were really focusing on last year was the mental aspect of the game and how to keep that edge and rather putting a negative, make it into a positive.
Turn it into an
opportunity.
An opportunity.
You're the other team is sitting 3, and you got to draw. Oh, hey, we got an opportunity to draw in for 1.
That's right, and that's the way you have to look at it. You can't beat yourself up. You got to look at through positive opportunities. And we're into Maidstones here, and Heidi, as I said, there's a couple of centerline guards out there. She's asked Kathy to throw some heat and get those rocks moving, and I'm sure she will. The stone's on its way, and at least one will go. And that's it. So there's still a couple of guards out there for Kathy Hicks to get around. We are in the Maidstones here, and I'm sure that Kathy's going to ask to come in the center guard to the top group to bite the foot. Keith, over in sheet 1, looks like Talon's taken a 7-4 lead over Team Dobson.
And Murphy is 8-5 over Sullivan.
Okay, the Dexter Matthew game after 5 ends 4-2 for Matthew, and in the ladies' games here, the McPhee had cut off to an early lead there on sheet 4, but it's Pinky is catching up. It's 4-3 now for Pinky. And
They stole singles in the 4th and 5th.
That's correct, and they're playing in the 6th end here. And McPhee's laying about she's laying 2 there, but so that game has tightened up.
6-4 Armstrong over Smith. They blanked the 6, so that means Armstrong still has hammer.
Correct.
Am I reading those correctly?
Yeah, that's a blank end 6.
Yeah.
So Armstrong would still have hammer in 7.
Is that Mark Armstrong's daughter?
It is, yes.
There's a good athlete.
She is a good athlete, a good golfer, I believe.
Yeah,
and,
well, as is Mark. Mark,
Yes.
Very good golfer, very good curler.
yes.
For a big man, he had a great touch around the greens. I had a chance to play with Mark a few times, and he can hit the big ball. But I one of his fortes is his touch that he has around the green.
That's where your score is. You can help your score if you put it around the green. Lots of us can get it down to within 100 yards, but then it's game on. How to get it from there to the hole.
Yeah, and Graham and Tatlock is 4-2 for Graham.
That's correct.
And they're in the 7th?
Yeah, currently into the 7th. And Robichaud leads Malay 4-2, and they are in the 6th. So there's some tight games out there. So it's good to see. And at an event like this, you would expect the games to be tight. There's a lot on the line. So, our feature game, there's really nothing in the house. There is a group of rocks out in front of the corner guards, in front of the 12-foot. We are into skip stones here. It'll be Heidi's first stone. And again, her task here is to keep Team Hicks from to a low score, like a one score of one here would be fine. So she's gonna, as opposed to coming around buried, I think she's gonna throw to the open side, and Kathy will probably try to freeze to it or hit it, and again, it'll be a low scoring end. Front end are working this rock to get it to the rings. Both Jay and Judy are sweeping. Kathy's going out now to help them. I'm pretty sure they'll make it into the 12-foot, which is maybe not. It's going to come up just short of the rings. So there's absolutely nothing counting here in the 7th or in the 6th end.
That's all the sweepers go, like, really?
Yeah.
All that energy, and it was short.
Yeah, it's just short of the ring. So. Yeah, Hicks now has got an opportunity, actually, if she can get one in here buried, she actually does have an opportunity to score two here. She's got to throw a good one here. She's got to get it. There's lots of guards out there. If she can get in around those and get it buried, it's going to be tough for Heidi to get it out. This is first skip stone for Hicks. Just call it for the coming around drop. Looks pretty good, Keith. The sweepers are grooming it, but just lightly grooming it, so it'll just be about the amount of curl now. She has to go by this guard. It's coming up on it quite quickly, so I think she's going to. I think she's missed that opportunity. She's actually going to crash on the guard. So you can see a bit of frustration in the Hicks team there. That was she had to get that in there buried. She would have had an opportunity for two.
And Kathy is back on the ice at 5:30 today, and she'll be taking on Jennifer Armstrong. And Heidi will be taking on Sylvie Robichaud. Okay. That'll be a big game there.
Okay. Robichaud is going into today's game has a 1 win, 1 loss.
And Robichaud just scored. They scored a bunch, so they're up 6-2 now over Malay.
Malay, yeah.
And that was
that's a big game.
That's a big game. So
yes, and Malay going into this game was undefeated, yeah. So this could be Sarah's first loss. So Heidi, with her last one, just chose to come around her corner guard here. This time she does make it into the ring. She's going to be probably T-line almost biting the 4-foot. So. Kathy Hicks, I would assume, will just play a similar draw. She has to be 4-4 here to score her 1. That's what she's indicated to me, so she just wants to be in the 4-foot. She just came up a little light with her first shot, so she's going to have to make an adjustment here, Keith, to throw the weight.
Here's the last shot here of 6.
6 end. 6 end on sheet 6. puck is on its way. Again, she needs full four. The sweepers haven't touched it.
She gave it a little extra push there at the end before she let it go. Because she was light the first time.
First
right?
one, yes, so she made that adjustment. But she
A little
adjusted
heavy.
a little heavy. So that'll be a steal of one
Yep.
for Team Hanlon, and I think you will see
The
gloves.
Velcro?
The Velcro snap. Yeah,
Oh,
the gloves are off. Yeah.
So the final, it would be, it's 11.
11-2, Team Hanlon over Team Hicks.
And before we go off, why don't you just give one more round of scores for the folks at home on the other games?
Sure, Keith. Sheet 1, it's 7-2, Talon over Dobson. We have Jamie Murphy is 6-5 over Sullivan.
No, they
am I
got,
missing a
it's
number?
8,
Oh,
yeah.
no, 8, okay.
8-5.
Post in my way. Can't
Yeah.
see through the post. Okay, 8-5. And they're playing in the 8th end there. Dexter Matthews. Matthews is 4-2 over Dexter.
Yes.
Okay, over on sheet 4 now. After 6 ends of play, Robin McPhee is 5-3 over Pinky. Sheet 5, we have a 5. Armstrong is 5-3 over Smith. And we have Graham is leading Tatlock by a score of 4-2. They're playing in the 7th end. And Robichaud is 6-2 over Malay. They too are playing in the 7th end. That scores after 6 ends. So that's an update.
Well, thanks a lot, Bill, for all the help.
Thank you, Keith. It's been my pleasure. It was fun to
Yeah.
to do this.
No, and like I said, we got a great day of curling ahead of us. We have a 2:30, 5:30, and then a 9 o'clock draw this evening from the World Financial Group Jim Sullivan Classic here at Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club in St. John, New Brunswick. Keith Rain signing off. We'll be back at 2:30.